The first strength that, kind of jumps on the screen to me, I like Rashawn Gary. You know me, I'm a pass rusher. Instantly, when I cut the tape, I'm like, yo, do you got a guy that wins one-on-ones? Do you got a guy that can create pressure without you necessarily having to blitz all the time? And Rashawn Gary is definitely one of those guys. He's been a really good rusher. I wouldn't call him elite. I wouldn't even call him,
Didn't they just give him the bag?
He got it's like 452, something like that. So I wouldn't even call it like crazy high end. Like, to me, Highsmith is still a better player. But what I am saying is Rashawn Gary is definitely a good player, though, man. Like, he is aggressive. He is physical. He has dope get off. And he knows how to rush the passer. He should have had I thought 2 sacks last week. I know they caught one back. They was hitting them with the neutral zone infractions like crazy, or the offsides lined up, like the same stuff that we tripped on that field goal. They was calling it a lot in that game, bro. It was stupid. But to me, man, he is definitely one of those guys that we know. We got Broderick making his second start at right tackle and Dan Moore. So, yeah, man, a guy like Rashawn Gary, we do got to be aware of, man. And like I said, man, he's the first, like I said, big strength that jumps off to me. How we want to do this today, man? We want to go back and forth for it.
Your call.
I was running through it real quick then, man. Nah, actually, man, let's go back and forth. All right. Yeah, that was my first one.
Okay.
I got a couple over here. I ain't even go.
I'll say Jair Alexander.
That man, you speak my language then. Perfect.
Dude's a top 10 corner. I'll be honest, I'm struggling to come up with 3 strengths for the Packers.
Okay.
So I'm going to be reaching kind of probably on my third one.
All good, man.
I just don't think they're that good of a team.
All good.
But when you have a lockdown corner that we're hoping JPJ develops into on our own end, I think that matters. It really helps your defense. But outside of him, I mean, they just traded Douglas over to your guys up there in Buffalo. They got this dude Valentine. I know some Packers fans are.
Rounder. They like I know. Like we talked Corey Trace.
I know. I was gonna say. I know Packers fans are high on him,
but
outside of Alexander, you don't got much in that secondary.
Deke said we could only have dope young players. If he was playing for us, Deke could be swearing about it, but he gonna lock up this guy. He gonna lock that guy up. Playing against him, Deke like, oh, he is several. I don't care about this cat. I don't know what they talk about. You funny, bro. But no, I'm with you though. Jair Alexander, he's actually on my list too, man. So salute us, man. We in the same mindset because he has a premier corner in this league, man. High end pedigree dude, big contract guy, all world, perennial all pro type. Can cover you, do the man to man, press up, isolate you. That's his game, and he can tackle. But at the same time, specifically, we've had a guy on our roster have success against him. Turn Deontay Johnson. Your boy actually was at that game too. If you think about it, man. We seen this.
I thought we were gonna win.
We seen that in person. Another questionable call. Special teams related. Yeah,
the Joe Hayden. They didn't show the replay in the stadium. They would not show the replay.
They did not, bro. But he's definitely one of those guys though, man. So it's like, in terms of strength, yeah, he's for certain strength, man. But since you tapped on that, I'll go to my next one, man. Aaron Jones. To me, he's what keeps this offense going. He's what keeps this offense afloat. He is to the Packers. When I watch Aaron Jones, I say this is what our offense would look like if Jaylen Warren got 80% of the touches. He was the feature, and Najee was 20%. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillard, they rotate him at times. They have sometimes it's more AJ, sometimes it's more Aaron. But Aaron is their guy. Aaron was their guy even when Rodgers was there towards the end of it. He's a very dynamic runner, man, but not in the sense of downhill at you. It's more so the lateral game, man. The misdirection. He's beating you off tackle. He can hit you on a stretch run, kind of like when we talk Jaylen Warren. He's not an easy tackle, but he's not the Najee Harris. He's not the A.J. Dillon type. Like,
how about this? This is what I was thinking when I see his running style. He is what Anthony McFarland would be if Anthony McFarland was actually good. Yeah. Yeah,
like, to me, Aaron Jones, like the screen game, the way they use him in that, like, he is one of those guys that when he is on, their offense works. It makes Jordan Love look way better because it's not the most consistent over there. But Aaron Jones, that's one of them dudes right there, man. So, got talking for us.
Well, I agree with you. I have running backs written down.
Yeah.
So, the combination of Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, that's their own version of, Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren here, a little thunder, lightning. I'm telling you, dude, outside of that, there's not much more I like about this team.
Mm-mm.
And that's what I'm going to say, that my third one's a stretch.
If yours is a stretch, I know mine's going to be a super stretch, so you're good, bro.
I like some of their individual talent on defense, but I already named Jair Alexander.
You see,
but,
I said Rashad Gary. I tried to split them up.
But I didn't want to put anyone else in Alexander's class, so I wanted to single him out. But I do like some of the other guys, like Preston Smith, Devondre Campbell, Quay Walker,
shout out to Devondre
Gary,
Campbell, bro.
Kenny Clark.
I'm glad that you on the Devondre Campbell, like you acknowledging him now. I remember when we first talked to Devondre a couple years ago.
He made an All-Pro a couple years ago. I wanted us to sign him this offseason.
But that was the first year he signed. That was the first year he got the All-Pro when he went out there. Yeah, it was like, yo, he's a good player, man. I like him. Now, I don't think he's the same now as then, though, if that makes sense, too. It's like, what was that, 4 years ago? 4 years ago when he was out there in Green Bay? I thought he was a more productive version then. I think now, still good, still really good, but I think it's just, yeah.
Like I could pull out I like Matt LaFleur. He's won a lot in his young coaching career, but we're seeing without Rodgers, he's struggling.
You ready? This is what I had. I said I like the talent of the quarterback because he's very talented.
You know what I was going to write too? I was going to include him in the strengths, but has not really much to do with his play.
That's what I'm saying.
But more with his fight, because those first couple games when they were down, I think it was week 2 and 3.
Yeah.
He brought the Packers back, and they completed the comeback. I think it was against the Saints and won the game. They almost did it against the Falcons. Yeah. So I appreciate that fight, but
I'm like, he's very talented.
I don't think he's a good quarterback.
I think he's very talented. It's like he has
seeing more from him.
He has a big arm. He can run. He looks great when he's just doing this in the pocket. Before anything happens, Deke, when he's like this, I'm like, bro, he look like he nice. He bounce on the toes, nice and tall. But then after that is where you just like, all right, bro, what's going on here, man? But he low-key finished with a crazy little cool stat line, and that's the weird old part about him. But, yeah, I think he's just very talented. Now, can he put it together? That is what remains to be seen, kind of like what we're talking about with Kenny to an extent, right? Remains to be seen in terms of the consistency part. But you got I at least acknowledge the talent with him, though, man. All right. Did you have any other strengths that you wanted to give him?
Like I said, my third one, I didn't really have anything.
I respect.
So I guess you could combine my third one with, I like some of the individual talent they have across the board on defense, and then with Jordan Love's fight, if you want to make that my third one.
All right.
Third.
Respect. Now, Juice Bellamy had brought up Jaden Reed over there, the young rookie out of Michigan State.
Well,
they got a couple touchdowns too.
Speaking of I mean, are we getting to negatives? Because that's the receivers are part of my negatives.
Oh no, this is what the chat was saying for their positives. That's what they were saying. Yeah, we ain't got to the negatives yet. Yeah,
I don't really have him as a positive.
That's what they were saying, man. Yeah, they looked at him, was like, he's sneaky. Okay, let's see.
Okay, I get what
they
said.
Romeo Dobbs not impressively fast, but Pat P is on him. So yeah. Okay, good
matchup.
Yeah. Christian Watson is dangerous, but I think Joey could take care of him. It's like, yo, you could act like Christian Watson. They have a big catch last week. Like, oh, low-key should have had a touchdown if it was better throw. It's Jordan Love. I was just like, bro, what you doing? He's talented, though. He is talented. All right, let's see. Yeah, Juice Bellamy also brought up Christian Watson as well.
Rob Lightfoot says love is a weakness. I could agree with that too.
In real life or in like his game? I'll play it.
I mean, 100%. That's why I said I appreciate Jordan Love's fight, his little comeback effort. And specifically, the first two, or it was week 2 and week 3. So 2 of the first 3 weeks of the season, he displayed that. Outside of that, you can take him, bro. I don't think he's that good.
With you. Now, they saying Rod Dollar says that A.J. Dillon is a poor man's Derrick Henry. I don't agree per se.
No, what would his comp be?
Yeah.
He's huge. He's a bigger Saquon Barkley. He's a less agile Saquon Barkley. It would be my comparison.
Yeah, bigger, less agile. I can see that. Because he still is nimble.
I'm trying to think of running backs. He's probably, what about Brandon Jacobs? But he's faster. He's more agile, Brandon Jacobs, but less agile.
But he's not as big as
Saquon Barkley.
Brandon Jacobs.
He's right in between.
Like
he's right in
massive,
between
bro.
Brandon Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. If I had to combine the two,
yeah,
I think that's my comp.
You're like Benny Wells, like the college version
Oh,
of Benny
wow.
Wells. Like not NFL Benny Wells. NFL Benny Wells won't like that, but
I
college
think he had
Benny
a 1,000-yard year.
maybe one.
AZ, I
don't
mean, it
know,
doesn't count out
I'm
there.
like maybe that though. Yeah.
AZ was probably tanking or something.
Okay. All right. Well, let's tap in on some of these weaknesses. Then,
Ron
man.
Dane.
Shout out to Ron. I love Ron Dane, bro. That was my Wisconsin running back, man. I love Ron. I used to be so mad that he was so good and they would not play him in the fourth quarters. I'm like, yo, he could have so much more yards. You just keep playing this dude. Why y'all keep taking him out? I was too young to understand it, though. But yeah, Def was a Ron Dane guy. All righty then. Let's talk a little weaknesses then, man. All right, we tired of giving these dudes they flowers and acting like they cool. They bums. So, first weakness to me, man, is the super inconsistent quarterback. Lord have mercy. He can make every throw, and he can literally miss every throw. He can use his legs, and then there's times where you're just like, why haven't you used your legs? Like you said, I like the toughness, but the decision-making is very questionable at times. I think holds on to the ball too long at times. I also feel like he makes just questionable things when he's trying to do too much. Literally one play, he's, getting sacked, and he's doing the whole Russell Wilson where he's like, all right, I'm going down. Let me last second just try to heave this thing. And that is how a lot of negativity can happen, man, when you're trying to do a little bit too much in certain situations. But to me as a whole, man, I see his talent. I just feel like at times he looks like he's a little bit overwhelmed. And that's something that, with young quarterbacks, some stuff or similar stuff can be said about Kenny. I'm not going to be, oblivious to that. But that is one of them things where you're looking at it, it's like, yo, he has to play better because it is way too wide of a range where you're watching him as well. Difference between us, though, is our defense, I think, has been a lot more consistent in terms of creating turnovers and ultimately minimizing some of the damage at times. Whereas for Green Bay, that hasn't always been the case with them.
I'm with you. I put a little seasoning, put a little extra on my first weakness, though. Took it up an extra level. I mean, it has to do with the quarterback. I just said
I put a little
their decision to move off Rodgers.
God.
When you have Aaron Rodgers, you don't take that for granted. I was saying the same thing with Big Ben. No.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's the same way here with the Packers. You literally had Aaron Rodgers. It was clear as day he was hurt in his last season. You didn't give him that much help, but still,
he hurt right
statistically,
now,
what he did in I know. Oh, hold on, let me get to that. Statistically, in 2022, whatever he did there would be like an amazing season for Jordan Love, and Rodgers was hurt.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, bro. Whatever. I mean, Rodgers went on his darkness retreat. You pissed him off by shopping him around, and now he's over in New York. Now, you're right. He is hurt right now, so if they would have kept him, would he be hurt? Now, here's the thing. He would have been playing on Lambeau, not the New York Jets turf, so maybe he doesn't have the Achilles injury if the Packers would have kept him. Well, actually, that's the other thing, too. If the Packers didn't shop him, does he return? Because he said he was like
Jordan Love,
he said he was like 90% retired when he went to the darkness.
And he was pissed because they shopped him, and that's what made him want to play again.
Although I do think he said too, after coming out of the darkness, he was open to playing. He just wanted to throw again. But I think
he said
the
when
combination
he saw
of
that,
the throwing with the rumors that they were shopping him, motivated him to come back. But yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
At the same time, though, man, no different than the scenario here with Ben. When you make that move, you're not making that move because you feel like Mitch, Kenny, or Jordan Love are better than Aaron Rodgers or Ben Roethlisberger on that day. You're making the move because you're trying to run a business, you're trying to run an organization, and you're saying, this good, we feel like we've got as much as we can get out of it, and now we feel like in order for us to get back to what we're trying to accomplish from whatever our mentality is or whatever we're trying to accomplish, we think that this new version is the best part of that. Now, is it going to change the method? Yes. Is it going to be as pretty as this? Probably not. But we think in a couple of years, we can get back to what we're trying to accomplish and have a way better scenario than if we're, still sticking with this, knowing that it's going to keep us around here, but is viewed as obsolete because of the age of said model. It's a young man's game. I know that, but
both
it's a young
with Ben and
man's
Rodgers,
game, bro.
With
Ain't
both
nothing
of
wrong
them.
with that.
Yeah,
ain't nothing wrong with that. You know that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. But that is the reality of it, though.
Okay, you got your second one?
Yes, man. The second one is wide receiver production. It's not a lot of wide receiver production from this squad, man. The wide receivers, though, I have asterisks beside said comment because part of it is the quarterback play. I know here in Pittsburgh, we made it, sexy to talk, man, the coordinator is the reason why receivers aren't playing well. And we've kind of worked through that to see, like, no, man, the players got to be on the field. It usually is the guy throwing the ball, and usually these guys got to create separation. When I look at their wide receivers' production or the lack of it, I don't necessarily watch them and feel like they're not talented. I do feel like they have talented receivers. But at the same time, when you're looking at the combination of how consistent the receivers are playing with how consistent the quarterback is playing, to me, that's an even bigger issue. So there isn't a lot of concern when I just look at their wide receivers because I'm thinking about the combination of who has to deliver that football to them. Now, Christian Watson, is he big speed? Yes. High pedigree guy. But at the same time, it's questions about the details with the route running. How much separation can you consistently get? The consistent catching part as well. So those are certain things that when I'm looking at this group, I'm like, outside of the tight end, Musgrave, who they really don't like feature like I think you should, I don't really see a lot, from a passing standpoint that is just like, yo, man, like Romeo Dobbs, good player, right? We talked Jaden Reed, good player. Are they the type that we feel like?
Yeah, hopefully we don't make one of these guys a superstar.
Oh my gosh, right? Never mind. I forgot what I was talking about.
For one game,
we'll definitely find a way. All right. So you said put the house on Jaden Reed this week. That what you said? Is he the one?
No.
All right, because I really don't feel like that should be a case here. I don't.
It's not going to be a JPJ problem. I know that.
Well, I feel good about his part, but the thing that does concern me a little bit at times is I feel like their O-line isn't terrible. I think their O-line is like, all right. That's the part for me that concerns me more so than anything. Because if the O-line is all right enough.
It's not as bad as some of the other teams we've played.
Mm-hmm.
But I am holding on to that theory. I don't know if there's that many good O-lines in general, though, in the league.
Which is fine.
Like, it's nothing that
but that's what I'm saying. I think
should
this
be
one
deterring
is,
us.
like, when I say I think
this week,
their O-line is all right, what I'm saying is usually I come in here and I'm like, yo, we should just destroy and trash them up front. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case this week because I do think they got better pieces. I think they play better together. My concern
well, maybe that
is,
motivates us because the Titans performed way better than what I thought they were going to on the O-line side.
That's part of my concern is, man, how long do we have to cover versus those type of dudes? I don't think that, in a regular 3-4 second like how it's supposed to be, that them dudes are scary at all. But when I see some players where it's literally like, all right, this dude been back there 5, 6, 7 seconds, they ain't there. I'm like, that's the part where we know our personnel. Well, everybody's not JPJ back there.
I'm with you. I got receivers as my second one too.
Respect.
I have listed no wide receiver one on this team. They don't have a franchise receiver.
Yeah.
And nor do they. Do they have a solid two? They don't have a solid two even.
I think like Watson has the talent to be a 2, but once again, it's like the productivity hasn't truly equated to what we would view that as.
Yeah,
Jaden
like
Reed is cool, but he's a slot.
Yeah, they don't have one guy over 350 yards right now.
And they got the young rookie. I think he's the 5th rounder. Was it Weeks?
Yeah, Wicks.
Yeah, like big. He low key like looking at him, he kind of looks like Devontae Adams, like his frame, but he don't play like Devontae. Yeah.
No. So, yeah, what is it? The chicken or the egg type of thing. I don't think their receivers, even with Aaron Rodgers, we saw it last year. Now, I know they were younger last year in their first year, but they didn't even impress me then. It made me feel like their ceiling's probably like between 700-800 yards in a season, probably. Now, yeah, could Jordan Love be better? Sure, but that doesn't help the offense when you don't have a franchise number 1 receiver, let alone even potentially a number 2. I don't think any of these guys are ever going to be as good as like a Deontay Johnson. Now, is Deontay considered a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2? I guess that's even the he's probably more wide receiver 1.
To me, I say Deontay is true wide receiver 1, not franchise wide receiver.
Yeah.
Remember kind of we talked about that, like franchise wide receivers, Antonio Browns, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, right? Them caliber dudes. I think wide receiver 1 is a Deontay Johnson, a T. Higgins. Let me think. Who are some
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. Yeah, because Tyler Boyd to me is a 2.
Right.
I look at him as a 2.
Right. Okay.
CeeDee
Okay.
Lamb,
That would be my
CeeDee
point.
Lamb, I would
Tyler
put as
Boyd's the
1.
perfect example. I don't think any of these guys got a ceiling of Tyler Boyd. Really.
Respect. Okay. Yeah. Respect.
I mean, Tyler Boyd, multiple 1,000-yard years.
Tyler Boyd's a good player in this league, bro. He's a good player. Yeah. Not a great player, and I think that's the part. Once again, when we talk about like why is it hard with some of those evaluations, we're used to if they're not elite or great, then you're trash, and it's like, nah, Tyler Boyd's a good player. He's a good receiver.
Yeah, I see these guys being like high-end wide receiver 3s.
Yeah.
But it's not good for your roster building if that's all you got.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it with their offense. It's just not that good of an offense.
To me personally, I'm like, you got to play through the tight end. I think if you play through Musgrave, you got
he looks good.
Yeah.
He does look good.
He's super athletic. He looks like the mismatch, almost like what Buffalo is trying to do with Dalton Kincaid. No different what Kansas City is trying to do or has done with Travis Kelce. It's like, yo, if you got that type of dude, isolate him, work him, let him be, the feature to an extent. If you can't get to your 1, or I know in our case in Buffalo, Diggs usually getting double teamed. So it's like, all right, you better play somewhere else until you get back to that. In their case, they don't have anybody out there. So it's like, bro, Musgrave is the mismatch. It's not a lot of linebackers that's going to be covering that, man.
Right. Hopefully Quan.
To an extent, yeah. Like, Quan is athletic enough to give him some issues. But what I'm saying is, if a team really wanted to just simply say, make him cover you for 4 quarters, I don't think that a linebacker realistically should be able to cover Luke. No different than I don't think a linebacker should be able to cover Pat Freiermuth exclusively for 4 quarters. The way Pat could be in line, the way Pat could be in the slot, the way Pat could be off the ball. It's like, yo, can you hold up on certain plays? Yes. But if we really say, man, we about to throw it to Pat 15 times a day like how Kansas City does to Kelce, you don't see a lot of linebackers matched up with Kelce.
And you're right, the Packers just aren't doing that.
But they're not doing that, yeah.
Maybe they'll scheme him open or something for a player or two, but in terms of just going to him and trying to feature him in on a mismatch, I don't even think Jordan Love's to that point where he could be doing that anyway.
Yeah. But that's my thing. I'm like, I think that would be the better approach and lean on them running backs because you got 2 of them. Nah.
You got your third then?
I do, man. I had a combo thing. Now, partly I know it was raining out there, but they put the ball on the ground a couple of times. So I did look at the ball security element. But more importantly, man, it's the mental part for me, man. They're coming off a 4-game losing streak. Did they win this game versus the Rams? Technically, they won it. But you could also look at this game and be like, bro, who was trying to win and who was really trying to lose it? It was a weird one. But when you have a 4-game losing streak,
the Rams suck.
Thank you.
They don't. Well, they didn't have Stafford. I'm sure
know.
the Rams would have had a much better chance if they had Stafford.
Yeah, and I'm watching the game and I'm like,
because Puka and Kupp were basically no shows,
bro. But it's times where Green Bay's trying to give the ball. They're trying to give the game away.
Yeah,
literally trying to give it away. And the Rams are like, no, we don't want to take it. We don't want to take it. Here, you take it back. So when you coming off a 4-game losing streak and that's how you essentially got off the schneid was that type of win, I just question how confident are you truly about it? Because I think the way that we're coming into this stadium, our mindset is a little bit different versus this mindset. And that's the part for me where I'm like, I think that is definitely a negative for them, man. When you still haven't felt like, yo, we went out there and took one. We went out there, yo, we had to get this.
Yeah.
You question like, yo, are we really like that yet? Or did we just beat a terrible team? Like, not saying the Rams are terrible, but the way they were playing.
Oh, they're terrible.
Without Stafford, yeah, it looked like that. Yeah. But that was one of the ones for me, man. I was like, I don't think y'all really believe that just yet. I think y'all looking at this Steelers team like, yo, you know what, man? We know they tough. We know that even though it's not perfect, they're still consistently finding ways to win. They haven't consistently found ways. They've lost tight. They've lost blowouts. When you start stacking loss after loss after loss, though, and you can make a case that the 4-game losing streak, shoot, it was 1 win before that, and then they lost the other ones after that. I'm like, yo, they haven't had a ton of sustainable success or a ton of stackable success moments. Right. Whereas we do when you talk Kenny 6-1 in prime time, we talk 12-5 overall. It's like, yo, that's multiple times where you're stacking win on win on win. So it's a confidence thing. Right. You just believe it. Think about how many times we say, yo, we know the game could start slow, but if we're close in the fourth, we feel like we're going to win. Because we've done it so many times. Whereas for those guys, They can't go to that well of, well, man, it don't matter. We're going as long as we tighten the fourth, we're gonna find a way to win. Them dudes, if it's tight in the fourth, they
Love
probably
did it one time.
right.
Yeah.
Them dudes in the
That's
fourth will probably looking up like, all right, are we gonna make it out this time? Oh man, what's about to happen negative now? I know we're about to mess up. We done lost too many times. Now. Those things start to creep in your mind. So to me, I think that is, like I said, a negative for them, man.
Especially when you contrast it, like you said, with us having the belief.
Yeah.
We're on opposite sides of the spectrum right now because I feel like we found our identity after the bye right now. I do think we have a lot of confidence. We know what we're doing. Whereas the Packers, it still feels like they don't have an identity to their team. They don't know who they are. They don't know how to win. And that actually goes hand in hand. I mean, it goes hand in hand with what you're saying there, too. I think we basically had the same three, just worded differently for these weaknesses. Because I have not good complementary football.
Yeah.
They are the opposite of us. They are turning the ball over on offense, but they don't get takeaways on defense. What do? At least over these last 3-4 weeks. Kenny's been taking care of the ball. Yep. We haven't had any turnovers. Then the defense consistently has been taken away. I think
6 now, +7.
I think we're
on the season, man.
I think we're third in the league in turnovers, and that's with us only playing 8 games. I think the 2 teams ahead of us have the full 9. They didn't have the bye yet, and then we get sacks, we get splash plays on defense. Now it's been tough at times. We do give up yards, but bend but don't break, and we have splash plays, make turnovers, and then the offense isn't turnover. It's just we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Playing good complementary football. We know how to win games, and it could be better, particularly with the offense. Like we left,
beautiful part.
We left points, we left passes, we left catches out on the table for that Thursday night game. That could have easily been 30 points for us.
Yeah,
that's the silver lining. That's what got me excited. In the moment, it doesn't feel good, but it's like, bro, we won there, and we didn't even rely on the defense like that in terms of getting the splash plays. Because defense played solid.
Usually we're like, yo, defense gave us some points.
Those were legit 20 points by the offense, but it could have easily been 30.
Absolutely,
easily. We're midway through the season, though. I expect that to improve because I got to witness it last year, at least. Okay. I got to witness it last year after the bye, and we're already seeing the same thing after this bye.
Absolutely, bro. Like I said, that's definitely my energy with it, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't think the Packers are that good, end of the day.
I mean, their record does reflect that also. And I think that's something that we also got to take into context. This was a team that was 2-5 a week ago. Now they're 3-5, and we talked about it was a very questionable Rams team.
Yeah, we just got to keep it going.
I think they just signed Wentz, didn't they?
I think they just signed someone. Right? No, you're right. They did. 100%.
So that should let you also know, like that's a unique Rams team.